Hey, welcome back everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Amused Jester. My name is Junior. And today we're going to be reviewing G.I. Joe Classified's Courtney Covergirl Krieger. 112 scale. I can't remember how much I paid for this, honestly. Probably around $24.99. This is their retro look for Covergirl because we've had her before. This one, and I'm gonna say right now, just looking at the packaging, actually just looking at it, even the first time, I already knew I liked this version than the previous one. Here's the back. The file card, again, is kind of disappointing because it looks like there's a lot of information, but it's not, because there's a lot of information in terms of 5 languages. Then it's a lot of information, but it's the same information but in 5 different languages, which I preferred. It's such a nice big file card. It would have been nice to have gotten all this space dedicated to the one character, and then in each individual packaging and language. That should have been what they have done, but that's not what they did. So let me go ahead and take her out of packaging and let's take a look at the figure much better. Alright, so there she is out of packaging. She comes with her own stand, as all retros do. The figure, secondary head sculpt, rifle, a handgun, a wrench, sledgehammer, and 2 close-fisted hands. Let's take a closer look at the details. Alright, taking a closer look at the details, we're going to look first with the sledgehammer. Basic sledgehammer, kind of bent as you can see, but it's nice that they put in 2 different colors in the handle and then a silver on the actual head itself. Mine is bent, as you can see. Unfortunately, that's not because the plastic is bent, it's just the way it was set in is bent. I'll have to fix that. As for the wrench, it would have been nicer if they had painted it silver. There's really no, I like plain silver as they did with a sledgehammer head, and there's no reason to have a two-tone color in that one. But I guess I appreciate the attempt. But you can see the detail even has the turn screws in there. I suppose I should be thankful that they made an effort for the wrench, because they didn't do any kind of effort for the gun. It's just basic plastic. There's no paint application or anything. It's all there, but the details there's nice star on the grip. Cool. I think they call these a carbine, but again, I'm thankful that they at least gave this one more different paint applications, not just a basic green, which is what it was, I think, originally in the toy, just basic green for the whole thing. This one has the black spread out through sections and a silver. Yeah, detail is nice, paint application is acceptable. Then you have the 2 close-fisted hands, pretty much self-explanatory. There's nothing else to talk about it too much. I would have been more impressed if she actually had fingernails that's painted. So let's look at the first head sculpt available to us. That's really nicely done. Very crisp logo. The Pitts Garage. Yeah, as you can see, that's very, very crisp in there. I apologize for the harsh lighting, but my camera is going to be in the way, so it's not like, maybe I can add some, there you go, some lighting. There you go, much better. And there's more detail on her face. Oh, she's got an actual wash on her hair, highlighting. Even more impressive. Some bleeding in the hat. I'm okay with that. I'm not no, maybe not so okay with that, but I'm not looking at the hat in terms of this. I'm looking at the face, and this is a generic looking face, more very similar to what it was originally. But it is nice to have not just the braid, but the highlights in her hair. I think that adds to the character on the face. This is the one that I'm most impressed with. I know it's kind of glossy right now. It's not too glossy when you're just looking at it naturally. But this has so much personality in the face that I love it. I love the fact, and I love the fact that it's a second portrait, so you can switch it out if you want to. One with a neutral expression, one with a very expressive expression, which I think, like, just look at it. The face brings this whole character to life. It honestly does. So nice that the color right here is a two-tone green with a silver zipper over here. Actually has an interesting cleavage for a toy, which I think has been lacking in Marvel Legends, so it's very feminine looking figure. Krieger Armor E4. E4, isn't that for like a sergeant? Maybe, I don't know. I'm not military. Highlights again in the hair, so that's pretty nice. Nice holster for her gun. Silver brown. Very basic on the very skimpy uniform. The boots. This is the kind of boots that I would have always preferred when they started Classified. Modern, but not too flashy. Very still similar to the aesthetic of the original toy. So yeah. And I think we can talk about articulation at this point, even though it's a little bit more macro. Head can tilt this way, goes down that way. I don't expect much going up because of the hair, of course. Rotation on the shoulder. It does have a functional butterfly joint, but doesn't have a lot of range. We can see more of the range as she can do a T-pose for her shoulder. So her range in butterfly that's basically it. And that's me pushing it. Bicep cut, double jointed on the elbows. Thank goodness they're keeping this with a G.I. Joe Classified. I think they're changing that with Star Wars, which is kind of a shame. Rotation of the wrist and an in and out on the wrist that works very well. She has a mid-torso cut, but one of those oblong ones. So interestingly, she actually goes forward pretty well, much better than her male counterpart, and goes back very well as well too. She's got a waist cut, has a ball joint that, in combination with the torso, gives you a fair range, I think. And I'm gonna holster her gun here. It looks like it's supposed to be facing naturally like that. Hips, drop down on the hips, so that's good. Goes well 90, but it does push it off to the side. Nope, you can do it on straight on like that. Not quite 90 on the outward leg, right? So that's maybe what, 60 degrees. Forward with that, backwards, there's not much backwards because this is hampering it a bit. It's really nice though. Look, you can literally do her standing like that, where she's crossing her legs forward from front to back. Still retains the thigh cut, thank goodness. Don't follow the Star Wars route where they cut that out, Joe's. Double jointed on the knees. Very well done. This one, honestly, it's a toy. It's not supposed to mimic a person like Star Wars does, where they're more concentrating on aesthetic, balancing it with articulation. This is a toy. Keep the articulation maximum, as I say. Double jointed knees, thigh boot cut over here, ankle down, ankle up, ankle rocker, and I'm happy rocker. Here's a comparison of the older CoverGirl. Yes, the other CoverGirl is more colorful and everything, but I really do like the simple design of this CoverGirl. It's very reminiscent of the old Joes. I never had the old Joes, but I really like the green uniform that the old Joes have. It reminds me of the first releases of the Joes, where it's all uniform bodies with greens. Of course, back then I felt those were boring, but now it feels like it's not boring because they seem more personalized than they were before. This one just seems so busy than this one. It's just simple and everything. Even though the design way is similar, where she's wearing a jacket and everything, her jacket is less busy. It conforms very well. And yes, I'm sorry, this is not her real face. I took out her face because it was just so generic looking. But in the meantime, since we have that, that's my adaptation where I used a glue gun. This is what happens when you use a glue gun, guys. It is completely reversible. It doesn't damage the the toy at all, and you can just push it in there. Probably reuse it again. If not, I can just, I mean, like, it's not that expensive, the glue gun, you know. But let me put that in there for now, and let's put on the new head sculpt, and hopefully, yes, they designed it well to fit in there. It looks really good. The skin color matches, peg matches, and that's the way it should have been. It actually, honest, that's the way it should be for all the Joes. All the heads should be interchangeable on all bodies, and all female bodies should be interchangeable as well. I really do like this head sculpt, to the fact that I'm going to retire the Banshee head. Wow, yeah, I like that. I like that very, very much. I also like the fact that, look at how they designed the calf in this one, or the shin. Is that what it is? It's more wider here, but this is more well done, more slimmer, so it fits the body aesthetic more. Her whole legs, and this is the old style of where they were modernizing the classified design. Look, this looks so much more better. It's so much more uniform than having this one piece that's standing out there, the armor piece. And this is nice, the crisscross belt, but I prefer the simpler one. I really prefer this one a lot more. But I think that's more owing to the head sculpt. The head sculpt really, really elevates this quite a bit than this one. But I'm glad now I have both variations, and I'm really, really glad that they put a second head sculpt in this one. So let's do the value. And yes, I was right. This is $24.99 and everything. So let's do the value. Base price 10 equaling to $24.99. I value this at 15. Easy 15. Easy. I didn't even have to think about it. Yes, I did, but I mean, like, as an afterthought, it's like I wasn't even thinking let's start at 12. No, this is just a complete 15. Why? Second head sculpt expression is well done. Second head sculpt elevates the first release, so that's good. Accessories are ho hum hum, but it's got the rifle, it's got the gun. That's all I really need from her, and a secondary set of hands. So if we were really to break down my value system, it would be basing base value of 12, 13 for the head, 13 for the extra head, 14 for the expression, and then 15 because it elevated this one as well, the second piece, because it fits very nicely. There's really no look, this is better in terms of the coloration from the neck compared to the one that they did on the chest. They did a better job on the coloration of her chest here. It integrates more. Maybe it's just because just maybe that's just time, where it's getting paler and paler. But yeah, easy 15, no questions whatsoever. So that's it for my review of Courtney Covergirl Kruger, the Tank Girl. Definitely a must buy. I would highly recommend this over the first version. Better design as far as I know, as far as I believe. Secondary head sculpt, even though she's not one of my top tier characters, this figure, the way it was done, the way it's presented, just elevates it. Look at that. Look at how easily this figure poses. And I'm a bad poser, but it just goes to show you that a figure becomes so well done, it literally poses itself. Yeah. And that's all I gotta say about Courtney Covergirl Kruger from G.I. Joe Classifieds 1/12 scale. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you guys in my next review. Bye.